Welcome to the Quantum Momma podcast, where frequency meets faith, science meets spirit, and motherhood becomes a portal to divine expansion. Hosted by Katelyn Simmons, a Jesus-loving, frequency-healing, free birth mama on a mission to help you heal your body, align your energy, and unlock true abundance, inside and out. Each week, she dives into holistic health, nervous system wisdom, quantum biology, faith-filled manifestation, and frequency-based living, all through the lens of motherhood, entrepreneurship, authenticity, and walking boldly in your God-given purpose. Because you weren't made to just survive. You were made to thrive, vibrantly, authentically, wildly, and in total alignment. Let's recalibrate. Let's expand. Let's do life the Quantum Momma way.
You may have heard the phrase that you become what you believe, or that your thoughts create your reality. But what if I told you that the beliefs shaping your entire life were actually installed into your mind from before you were 7 years old, or even inherited? So they've been with you since you were conceived. This episode is going to, I think, blow your mind if you have not learned about the subconscious mind yet. And I want this to be a resource for people who are on this self-development journey, healing journey, business growth journey, wherever you land on that. Maybe it's all three. I want this to help you feel empowered that you really have everything you need within you to change your life. You don't have to buy the most expensive coaching package that's available on the market. You don't have to will yourself and get up in the morning at 5 a.m. and say 100 affirmations and exercise for 3 hours a day and be one of those crazy biohackers. You have the power within you, and it's exactly how God designed you. So we're going to dive into the subconscious mind, what it is, how it works, and how it's influencing your health, your business, your relationships, your entire life, and your destiny. You were put on this earth for something so much greater than I think that you even know. Maybe you kind of already know that you have a big calling on your life. But I believe every single person has a massive, massive calling on their life, and that you have an incredible destiny. And the reason why we only see a very small amount of people achieve incredible things is because people don't take action on moving forward with what they have in their heart, the desires in their heart. People have those, we all have desires placed in our hearts by our Creator. There are many, many purposes for each of us here on this earth and for the length of time that we will each be here. This is just a small snippet of our time in eternity. If you think about eternity, it's not even comprehensible. This is a very small amount of time, a little blip that we get to impact and change other people's lives and help them on their journey and their destiny. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to look back on my life. I don't want to get to heaven and see that I didn't do, even a fraction of all the things that God had in store for me. The amazing thing about being put on this earth as a human is you have free will. So you don't have to do all the things that God wants you to do. I believe your life will be 1,000 million billion trillion times better if you follow the plans that He has for you and you take action on the calling and take action on the desires in your heart. If you have a desire to make more money, if you have a desire to live a life of fun and freedom, if you have a desire to help people, those are all godly things. I'm sure that will be kind of poking the bear, kind of uh, maybe making some very religious people frustrated that I would even dare say that. But it's the truth. And sometimes the truth makes us uncomfortable. So let's get into it. This episode is for you if you've ever felt stuck in a loop. I also want to speak to people who grew up very religiously. Whatever side. My mom grew up Baptist, my dad grew up Catholic, and I was so blessed to be born into a non-denominational upbringing where we didn't have all the quote-unquote religious rules that can come with being in denominations like that. And there's no hate to any of them. I don't want to say anything bad about any sect of religion. I just want to shed light on the religious spirit behind it, because what happens is humans get in the way of what God designed. They want to make rules, and we want to put everything in a box, and everything has to be just so, and everything has to be ticked off, and you can't do this because it's bad and it's evil. You can't have a sip of alcohol. The biggest one that drives me nuts is when I see people who are clearly in front of me, this has happened multiple times in my life, bad-mouthing people who will have a glass of wine at dinner, but then they're on the verge of finishing an entire pie in one sitting. So there are many different types of sin, and we are not to judge what other people are doing. And so the religious spirit comes in and makes everyone think they have this right to judge what other people are doing while they're sitting there doing something clearly that the Bible would say not to. Like, don't be gluttonous. Don't overconsume. We don't want to overconsume anything. We don't want to overconsume content. Everything is balance. When we can look at life through this lens that God gave us, God made amazing things. God made food. We want to eat food, right? In the Bible, Jesus turned water into wine. So anything can be taken. There's two sides to everything. You cannot just look at life through this religious lens and expect to get anywhere, especially if that religious spirit is telling you that it's wrong to want to make more money. Because money, just like food, just like maybe a glass of wine at dinner, I'm not going to tell you to drink alcohol. I actually don't drink alcohol at all now. I don't want it. But I did drink alcohol, and I don't think that was wrong of me to have wine with dinner. Go to wineries and enjoy what God made. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent, but my point is money can be used for good or evil. I don't believe that God wants you sick. I don't think he wants you poor. I don't think he can use you very well to get to the end goal. Like, you have this destiny. If you were made and put on this earth to help people, to heal, to help people to be encouraged, to help people whatever it is that you're supposed to help them with, or whatever you're supposed to do, but you're too sick to use your mouth and talk like I was. If you're too sick and you're stuck in bed like I was. If you're too poor to even help yourself, how in the world are you supposed to help other people? So it's all in our subconscious. If you're feeling triggered by the whole religious spirit thing, I encourage you to just keep listening. Hopefully you're just relating to this. I hope you can relate and you understand what I'm talking about. If you have no clue, that's fine too. God bless you. You didn't grow up around that energy. It's not a fun energy. And I really want to be calling it out a lot because I think that's where people get so tripped up, is the man-made junk that comes with just trying to have a relationship with your creator. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple. You want to talk to God. You want to have a prayer life. You want to, be in tune with the Holy Spirit, get divine downloads, honor him, and just live a life that's pleasing and honoring to him. And then you have all these people saying dumb stuff. It's crazy. It's nuts. Let's actually start talking about the point of this, though. The point of this is the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind should help you realize that believing in manifestation and thoughts creating things is not evil, it's not New Age, and it's not something to be scared of. If the church has told you otherwise, I'm very sorry that they said that. I want to provide you with what has helped change my mind and helped change my life, because now I know the power of my thoughts and I see why Jesus talked about it so much. I have now studied this pretty deeply, I think. I think there's still a lot more for me to learn, obviously. We always have so much to learn. But from everything I've seen, all the books I've read, all the trainings I've taken, all of the certifications, everything I've done to do a deep dive on the subconscious mind has helped me feel so grounded in my belief in the Bible and so grounded in seeing that science is just continuously proving the Bible and that our faith, if we believe and we have faith, that we will see things change. Faith moves mountains, and that is not just an inspirational quote from the Bible. It is truth. It is truth. So I don't know if this was on the last podcast episode that I did, but I'm going to pull up this verse because the other day, I was praying and God was telling me, read your Bible, read your Bible. And I was like, I don't really feel like reading my Bible. So I pulled up this verse. Sometimes I like to muscle test to see where I'm supposed to read, whether it's in a book or a Bible, because your nervous system, if you're getting divine downloads from God and you're talking to God, people always ask me, how do you know you're hearing from God? Well, start testing it. Like, start asking God and then listening. You have to be still. You have to be quiet to hear God. And if I guess I don't have... Let's see, I'm not finding the verse pulled up. 1 second. If you ask God, show me what I should do about X, Y, and Z, it's not like you're just going to all of a sudden have a little floaty person show up in your peripheral and you're going to see a face and it's going to be like the Wizard of Oz voice booming saying, I need you to do this and this and this in your business. No, you're going to either have a knowing, you might have a little vision, you might hear nothing, and then the answer might come through another person in like a week or two. You might hear nothing and you have to pray about the same thing for months. It is a learning. It's something that you have to learn how you hear the Holy Spirit's voice, but you have to first invite it in and ask for clarity, ask for wisdom, ask for help in your life, and ask to hear God. And then as you continually do that, it's a practice, you'll start to learn what God's voice sounds like to you. And it'll be different for each person. I have heard God's voice audibly. My mom has heard God's voice audibly, but that's not a normal thing. In this case, I just had the thought pops into you. For me, the most common way to hear from God is that the thought pops into my head as an answer after I ask. And because this has been happening now for years, and I've learned what the voice sounds like in difficult situations, in what felt like my worst rock bottom situations, and now trying to actually have conversations with God on a very regular basis, because I don't want that to ever slip away. I think that's something that can happen. When you get in the good times and you're not desperate anymore, it's really easy to stop talking to God because you think you've got it going on your own. You're like, I got this. No, I'm fine. I don't need to talk to God. But when you can be in the habit every single day, keep it a discipline, you will start to hear. It just depends what your spiritual gifts are and all of that. So I saw the verse pop up. I almost got it. Here we go. I muscle tested. Okay, so that's where I was going with this. When I'm going to go read the Bible or a book, I will muscle test. I have a muscle testing course. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Emotion Code teaches you how to muscle test. The reason why this works, for you to know what you need to read in the Bible or a book, and a way that you can kind of amplify the way you're hearing from the Lord, is because it's communicating with your body and your energy and your subconscious mind and your nervous system. So your body is going to respond to truth. If the Holy Spirit's telling you you need to do something, your body is resonating towards something, a truth you need to hear, knowledge download, whatever it is. So in this case, I muscle tested to read the book of James, James 1, and here's what I read. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith, with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Belief. I don't think I shared the version of the Bible that sounded like this in the last episode. I talked about this, and it didn't quite sound so, it didn't make as much sense with what I was talking about. So I just want to reread this again. If you ask, let it be in faith, without any doubting. For if you doubt, you cannot expect to receive anything from the Lord. And I think as you continue to listen, as we get into what the subconscious mind is, I want that to stick with you. Because this is truth in the Bible. This is God telling you, this is God saying, hey, this is how I made you. This isn't just a command. This isn't just fluff in the Bible. This is how I made you. You need to believe when you ask me. If you ask for wisdom, believe that you will have wisdom from me. If you ask for more money, believe that you'll see it to come to. And then, okay, let's get into it. Basically, the point is I shared this verse 3 years ago. And God knew I needed to reread it and have a refreshed mind about it. Now, knowing so much more than I knew, this was March 2022 when I first shared this verse in relation to the subconscious mind. And just in 2021 was when I had first started really deep diving into it. And now, 3 years later, holy moly, it is cool stuff. So I want you to know this is all grounded in science and faith. And it's one of the most powerful things I believe that you can learn about your body and about how the world works. The subconscious mind is the part of us that makes unconscious decisions and influences things like digestion, our heart rate, and so much more. Which I think when we first learn about the subconscious mind, that's kind of all we're really taught. We're like, okay, so your body runs on autopilot. Like you don't have to think about your heart pumping. You don't have to think about the blood rushing through your veins. You don't have to think about how to digest certain foods. Like it just goes. That's your subconscious. We aren't really taught, probably on purpose or probably not taught, just how much more it is. According to Dr. Bruce Lipton, who has a great book called The Biology of Belief, it's a harder read, in my opinion. Like, it's not one I just sit down and want to just soak up the whole thing in one sitting. I have to, like, force myself through that type of book. It's pretty dry, I think, but it's really great info. Like, a Joe Dispenza book I can read really fast. I don't know. There's something about Bruce Lipton's books, but awesome stuff. He's a great researcher, doctor, person that is reliable and has the research and the studies and the cool stuff. He talks about epigenetics. Look him up if you haven't seen this funny little dude. And he says our subconscious is 95% of our mental activity. So controls our breathing, healing, emotion, hormones, all of that type of thing. I've heard from other people like Dr. Bradley Nelson, and just as you keep searching through, it's like a range of how much of our intelligence is a subconscious mind. And Dr. Bradley Nelson has related it to more like how much we're made up of energy. That's a little, I don't know, it felt a little like frightening to me to hear him say that, because 99.99999%. So that means our conscious decisions, what we decide to do, how we decide to get dressed in the morning, how we decide to make coffee in the morning, how we decide to do all these different things in our life if that's really 0.00000% of our intelligence, whoo, what is running the show? What is running the show? And so if you consciously look around your life and you see things you don't like, that's your mind. That's your subconscious. That is the fruit of your thoughts. That is the fruit of your beliefs. Everything in your life is the fruit of what you in your subconscious, your coreness, everything deep inside you believes is safe and normal and true. Envision your subconscious mind like you have this huge supercomputer or a filing cabinet. Every single thing that you've ever touched, smelled, felt, believed, dreamt, experienced is stored there. And it's all just filed away. That's how muscle testing works. That's why you can test your muscles and they will test strong or weak when you present a statement, a fact, or a question to your body. Because you're going through this ultra super fast filing cabinet, go, do I have a trapped emotion from when I was 2? Yes or no? Yes. You know all of it. You just consciously don't have all the memories there. They're all stored away in your subconscious mind. So this is backed by studies. Harvard says the subconscious mind processes 11 million bits of information per second, while the conscious mind only handles 40 bits per second. Neuroscience, subconscious stores habits, beliefs, traumas. So if you cannot stop smoking, one, they're full of chemicals, so you're addicted to the chemicals, but that works with the brain in a way too. Nicotine's a whole nother deep dive. We'll have to do that sometime. But if you have a habit that you can't break, it's not necessarily your willpower that could ever change that. It's your belief system. It's your subconscious mind. And that's why so many people get so addicted to so many things so easily and then are stuck with them for so long, because your subconscious mind, let's just stick with what Bruce Lipton says, 95% of your intelligence, if 95%, huge chunk, is fighting your super strong will to change of your conscious mind, but that's only 5%, who's going to win? It's like, I don't know what to compare that to. I think you get it. So I want to compare this to something that you've probably watched. I mean, I don't know if you've watched this or not. Maybe this was just popular when I was, I don't know how old I was, maybe 20. The movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper. If you ever saw that? I think I only watched it once, but I forget who I heard compare this to that movie first. It was probably Dr. Bradley Nelson or something in the Emotion Code. But basically, Bradley, what's his name? Bradley Cooper. I can't even picture who that dude is. Can you tell I don't watch movies anymore? I don't watch TV, I don't watch movies, but he takes a pill and has a wild transformation that happens that gives him access to full brain power. So basically, if you compare this to our subconscious, instead of having the 5% of the conscious mind, all of a sudden his whole brain is opened up 100%. He has access to the supercomputer. He has access to the filing cabinet, which we all have. We all have the supercomputer. Suddenly, he remembers everything he's ever read. He can learn languages in minutes. He becomes wildly successful overnight. What if I told you that wasn't just a movie? I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you know this already. Hollywood is just showing us things that are already real. Like it's just so much of it is so weird to watch now, knowing what we know. There's something wild and crazy that happens in real life. Hollywood's going to make it into a movie. And then everyone who's still kind of stuck and hasn't really broken out of the matrix is going to think, oh, that could never happen. That only happens in movies. Because I know this because that's what I used to think. Now we see stuff like this and it's like, oh, it's a type and a shadow. This is so cool. So we don't have a magic pill for this, but science shows that our subconscious mind is already storing and processing everything. I just said that. We're not just consciously tapping into it. So Limitless is this movie, and it works as a metaphor for what's possible when we change out the old programming, when we stop letting the old programs run the show, and we start reprogramming ourselves with truth, clarity, and alignment. So I hope that helps give you this really great understanding of the subconscious mind, where you see that you have the coolest supercomputer ever given to you by God. And he doesn't want you having the crummy Bill Gates programming anymore filled with viruses. He wants you to have the kingdom downloaded in there, the kingdom software plugged in, so that you are raising to new levels and bringing people up with you. Why is that get so much pushback? Like, okay, we know why, because of the subconscious programming, but it makes me fired up. Your subconscious mind is your hidden limitless mode, and today we're going to help you flip the switch on. I want you to step into everything God has for you. I want you to be abundant and healthy and blessed and happy, because that's what God calls us. He wants us blessed and happy. The joy of the Lord. The joy of the Lord. I pray today that you are filled with the joy of the Lord. Okay. We are most influenced in the first 7 years of life. A lot of people talk about this, childhood trauma, talking about your inner child, all that stuff. Well, you know what I see is most people talk about this and then they just talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. They go to therapy and they talk about it and they talk about it. It's like, oh, how much can we talk about this? Yeah, okay, childhood could have been really rough for a lot of people. But it doesn't have to have been rough for it to impact your life in a bad way. So the other side of the spectrum is like people get stuck, reliving their childhood and they're just tormented by it. And then other people are saying, well, I didn't have a bad childhood, so I'm good. I don't have to worry about trapped emotions. I don't have to worry about changing my subconscious beliefs. I had a great childhood. I've heard that one a lot. I have heard people argue that so much, like when I was doing emotion code for everybody. But here's the thing. That supercomputer, it's not like the things you hear today, like everything we see and hear, if we watch TV, listen to music today as an adult, are impacting your subconscious. They are programming you. But between the ages of, I think, conception and 7, the brain is in theta. We'll talk about theta more. That's a whole nother topic. But when you're in theta, you are highly programmable. So it's like the security system of the supercomputer comes down and you can program in anything you want. It's like hypnosis. Kids are basically in hypnosis. So everything you say to them, everything they experience, everything they feel, everything they see, everything they touch, it's all truth. There is no kind of rationale at all. There's no filter. It's just easy programming, which is a little sad because, of how a lot of kids are brought up. That's why I am super picky with how I'm bringing up my baby. Like, we are ultra picky on the words we say. My husband and I, we already are really good about saying nice things. We don't swear in our household and stuff, but just intentionally speaking life into her and over her, it means more to me now than I ever thought of it before, because I see that she is pure subconscious. She is pure, she's in theta, she's being programmed, and I want her to be programmed with abundance and love and truth. Anyways, if you have kids, I hope you're speaking life over them. If you haven't started now, start today. Everything you say is going to go with them. This is why the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart. Okay. If you felt unloved as a child, you probably have a subconscious belief of unworthiness as an adult. That doesn't mean your parents didn't love you. It's just a feeling. So there can be a lot that comes with all of this as you get into adulthood. I kind of want to backtrack and let you know, I'm not saying therapy isn't helpful and therapy isn't good. If you do talk therapy, That's great. For myself personally, I didn't see benefit from talk therapy, but I know talking is good, and I know you do have to get it off your chest. And trained professionals are great at this, and I don't want to deter anyone from getting help if you need help. But when you learn about the subconscious, if you are going to do talk therapy, I highly suggest you also do the subconscious work as well, so that you can get out of the loop instead of perpetuating the loop. Okay, back to the subconscious. Dr. Gabor Mate. I've just butchered that. I don't know. My husband makes fun of me so much. He's like, what did you just say? How did you just pronounce that? I don't know. I have like a disconnect with how I pronounce certain things. I'm not even going to try to say it again. I know how to say it. I can hear it in my head, but I'm not going to say it out loud. Okay. This dude, the way children interpret emotional stress impacts the immune system and behavior long term. So if kids are super, like, if their nervous system is dysregulated and they've got all this stuff going on, if it's a chaotic home environment, and then they have emotional stress on top of it, the way that impacts them and the way they interpret it is going to long-term influence their immune system and behavior. That makes me think of autoimmune. That makes me think of Lyme. That makes me think of why some kids get really sick from certain things, why some kids get sick from mold toxicity, why do we have this range of kids? Like, kids can grow up in nearly identical situations or nearly identical exposures, and one is going to react horribly and the other is not. A lot of it comes back to the emotions. And that brings me to Deb Bruce, the coolest chick in Solex. So she does a lot of the trainings. Deb Bruce does a lot of the trainings for Solex, how to read your AO scan reports, all of that. She's got awesome videos for all of our day of discoveries and on YouTube for Solex. But the quote that I quote from her all the time is, the cause of the cause of the cause is emotions. So true. It is so true. And that's why I do voice analysis with inner voice and release trapped emotions and all that great stuff with releasing trapped emotions. And that is why working on our emotional health and releasing the trapped emotions from our subconscious mind, taking those files out of the filing cabinet of our subconscious, can change the trajectory of our life so much, because then we remove that emotional charge behind what was influencing why we felt safe or unsafe in a certain situation. I have in my notes, train up a child in the way he should go. You have so much influence over your kids. This is also why I'm sure as my baby gets older and as I have more kids, Lord willing, that I will talk about homeschooling and why I'm going to choose to homeschool and all of that. But this is another big piece that confirmed ever since I met my husband, we've both talked about how homeschooling is so awesome, but this just solidified it for me. Like, I don't want rando people influencing my baby's brain, my kids' brains. Like, man, the stuff you hear. And anyways, whole nother topic. There's really great accounts you can follow on that if you're interested. But whatever you believe about yourself on the inside is what you will manifest on the outside. So if you have a deep underlying belief that it's not safe for you to be heard because everyone told you to shut up as a kid, you're not going to talk. You're not going to say the things that everyone needs to hear. If you have a deep underlying belief that you don't matter because you didn't feel like you mattered as a kid, that's also going to influence everything in your life. And you're not going to feel like you matter to other people. And so why would anyone look at you on Instagram? Those are lies. Those are lies. Lies, lies, lies. And it's so crafty how the enemy knows how we work. Like, the enemy knows how we operate and how our brains work and our subconscious mind works. So then he can come in with these these sneaky little jabs and be like, yeah, you don't matter. And then bring in other people into our lives who are like solidifying that. And then we're like, yeah, I just can't make it because of this, this, and this. And then we stay stuck because we choose to listen to the lies and not change our subconscious mind. So there's a lot of ways that we can change our subconscious. And I think we're going to be diving into that soon. But I also want you to know and believe that God can miraculously change your subconscious too. Like, you don't have to all of a sudden go on like a 5-year journey of changing your subconscious belief necessarily. I think God will give you tools, but there's still miracles. And pray and ask for change, and pray and ask Him to change out the faulty programming. Ask Him to change the faulty programming and trade it for truth. And the best truth to trade it for is the truth in the Bible. Boom. Okay. The University of Colorado brain scans show imagination lights up the same areas as real experiences. Have you heard this yet? I have a highlight bubble. I should still have the highlight bubble. I don't know. I have so many highlight bubbles that they start deleting themselves as I make new ones. So I don't know if it's still there, but I used to have a highlight bubble called Imagination. And I linked a bunch of studies and a bunch of really cool things about how envisioning yourself doing a workout can have the same results as working out. It's wild. It's wild. And it's real. It's not fake. You can literally imagine yourself into the person you want to be. It's really cool. You should look stuff up. And there's a percentage difference, like, physical working out works 100%, right? And then imagination is like a percentage of that. But the fact it still does something, it still builds your muscles. We are not physical. We are 99.99999% energy. This is all energy. We are energetic, spiritual beings in an energetic, spiritual world. And too many Christians are operating in the fake physical. That should be a quote. That should be on a shirt. Are you operating in the fake physical? Are you still living in la la land? Forgetting who you were really made to be, put on this earth? Whew, okay. I should let myself just talk like this all the time, because then new ideas pop up. I don't know. Maybe I'll think that was a dumb idea later. Who knows? Okay. People gained muscle. Oh, I said this. By imagining working out. So cool. So cool. It's tough, though. It is tough. I have sat on the couch while breastfeeding and tried to envision myself working out. I get bored of it. So I've never actually envisioned it enough where I think it would do anything for me. But I am really good at envisioning success. I envisioned 100,000 followers. I didn't think of being specific to Instagram, though. So I'm at like 76,000 Instagram followers right now. And without thinking about it and without trying, just by having my reels upload to Facebook, like every time I upload to Instagram, my Facebook hit 100,000 followers. I was like, and you know what's so cool is I was totally detached from like the outcome of that. I didn't even care. Like, Facebook is whatever. I don't really like Facebook. I get annoyed when people comment on Facebook. So I'm like, I don't see my Facebook comments. I don't reply to Messenger. And I put that in a lot of my captions. Like, please don't try to message me on Facebook. I will not see it. Sorry. I'm going to test out not cutting out the sips of coffee and blank spots in this episode, because I re-listened to my first episode. I was like, oh, this kind of sounds a little choppy. Basically, this podcasting software is really cool and has an AI tool where you can auto-edit, and I don't know if I like it. I think I'll just leave it. Coffee sips and all. The thing with manifesting is you can want something and envision something and use mind sync and affirmations and all these things, have it on your vision board, and then not have it happen because you're so attached to the outcome. You have to detach yourself from the outcome and stop obsessing over it for it to happen. And I just think that's so crazy how I imagined 100,000 followers. I wasn't specific about Instagram, was totally detached from Facebook, and then I hit 100,000 followers on Facebook. There we go. Wrapped it up. That was my thought. So worry is praying for what you don't want. When you worry, when you choose to give energy to worry, that's imagination. Ooh, that is imagination. Andrew Womack is a great pastor. He talks about imagination a lot. And I feel like he never mentions quantum, but the way that he talks about things is kind of like quantum. It's pretty cool. He talks about how this is like an extreme example. I would think it's extreme. You don't cheat on your spouse just out of the blue unless you've imagined it a lot before. I think this is why those, I'm not going to say the word, the certain terrible graphic videos are so detrimental because you're imagining. And so you're preparing the future. So then, is that why cheating is so common? It's definitely connected. People break that down in more depth. But anything you're allowing into through your eyes to your brain, anything you're allowing through your ears to your mind, anything you're willingly putting your body in the presence of is influencing your reality. Okay? So do not worry is, I think, commanded in the Bible. I think it's like 365. Maybe that's fear. It might be fear. Do not fear. Do not worry is told to us a lot in the Bible. But worrying is imagining things that probably won't go wrong. So then the more you imagine it, the more likely they're going to go wrong. Imagining things that are evil and wrong and immoral will also end you up in chaos. Everything matters that you allow in. You have to be so careful with what you choose to let in your life if you're serious about changing your life. If you're serious about getting healthy, you remove the junk food, right? If you're going to decide to eat whole foods and be healthy and eat grass-fed and grass-finished meat, you're not going to invite Kentucky Fried Chicken into your home, right? That's like the worst place I could think of. I have to explain, like, I've gotten to the point now where when I want something easy to eat, my favorite thing to do is to Uber Eats Urban Plates. I don't know if they're all over. It's a place, it's like a chain here in San Diego. And they've got really good chimichurri steak. And if I really don't want to cook, I'm like, can we Uber Eats Urban Plates? And that's like the best. Anyways, you have to get to the point where you don't invite crap into your life anymore. Take it seriously. Don't infest the supercomputer with viruses. We ain't Bill Gates people over here. We are not. We need to have faith and belief and repetition and rewire the subconscious for abundance. Okay. Let's get into the tools for reprogramming. First things first, pray. Pray without ceasing. That is told. We're told that in the Bible for a reason. Pray without ceasing. Get the word in your mind. Read your Bible. Read things that are good, lovely, pure, and of a good report. You can't imagine bad things if your mind is full of pure, lovely, good things, right? Fill it up so nothing else. There's no empty vacancy for anything dumb. We don't want dumb poverty on our mind. We want things that are lovely, pure, abundant, good, our goals, like awesome things. Shift it out. It makes it, okay, I promise you, when you start shifting things out and you are really, really good about this, you feel different. It's easier to be happy. It's easier to have joy. It's easier to be grateful. And then you get in the habit of it. So I say this all the time. I say this in my courses, just do it. You don't feel like cutting out TV? Just do it. I challenge you, just do it. Stop watching dramas. Stop listening to music about people having a horrible life. Or I don't even know what the lyrics are anymore. I don't listen to anything, but switch it. Listen to Forrest Frank. His stuff is so uplifting. It's my baby's favorite music. When she wants to sing the up song, she goes up, 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 and she starts bopping and dancing. It's the cutest thing ever. So we got to shift. We got to shift the way we are choosing to influence our supercomputer. What are we programming it with? Repetition is really powerful. And this is like the most basic of the most basic thing you could possibly do. Affirmations and a vision board. Is it going to work? Yeah, they help. I have a vision board. I love vision boards. Vision boards are awesome. Affirmations are great. I say affirmations with my baby now. But there are other things that will amplify the power of this. You can't just use those two things and stop there. Practice visualization. When you imagine and envision the life that you want to create, the impact that you want to have, the change that you want to see in the world, that is what brings life to it. That is what makes it different. That is what is like the frequency charge behind it. Remember in my episode where we talked about frequency and we broke it down, how every thought you have is a frequency and you are a frequency generator? You are going to create frequencies that will help you attract and magnetize everything that you want to see in your future. The good things, the good people, the church that you want to go to, the uplifting things, the opportunities, the job offer, the miraculous healings, the change, all of it, the raise, all of it. I can't even think of all the things it could bring in. Envision it. And then don't obsess over how it's going to happen, because God is incredible. God will make things happen that you don't think are possible. Saddest thing to me is when someone's telling me, especially a loved one, if someone really close to me is telling me how hard something is, I want to look at them and say, you're not a tree. Move. Get up and move. Get up and do something about it. And the easiest thing, the most non-invasive thing you can possibly do to start changing is just your thoughts. Just change your belief. Someone I love so much has so much trouble with a job. Oh, and it hurts me to see it. So much stress. And this person feels so trapped. And every time I've brought up the fact of there's something better out there for you. There's a list of reasons why there'll never be anything better, and there's no way, and it's not possible. If that's you today, take those thoughts captive and throw them in the trash. Throw them in the trash. Those are not truths. Those are emotional addictions that your brain and your body have become accustomed to, and it's time to break the habit. I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out. I'm telling you this like you're my sister. Like you're my best friend. Like you're the most important person in the world to me. If you have thoughts telling you that you cannot do something and listing off every reason why you can't start the business, why you can't afford something, if you're having those thoughts, cut it out, throw them in the garbage. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're moving forward. All it starts with is the conscious decision to change. and to take action in a new way. You can have what you say. Every word you speak is a frequency. Frequencies change things. We want to raise our frequency. Other really powerful ways to change your subconscious mind include the AO scan, sound healing. Why do you think I talk about the AO scan so much? That's why I have a whole episode dedicated to the AO scan. You get frequency shifting. You can shift your frequency with the AO scan. You run your scans. Then you have sound therapy. Listen to your custom sound therapy that's going to help you release trapped emotions. Trapped emotions are vibrating at a specific frequency. If you have a lot of trapped emotions in your body, all over the place, vibrating at frequencies of depression and anxiety and low self-esteem and creative insecurity and all of these things and unworthiness, releasing them, peeling back those layers, is going to start decluttering the supercomputer. And you can do this with the AO scan. Other things include mind sync, which is also in the AO scan. That's a powerful way to use affirmations paired with a frequency change so that you bypass the subconscious barrier. Because think about it, when you start saying affirmations, a lot of times, remember how I told you to cut out those negative thoughts and throw them in the trash? Those creep up. Like that was a perfect example of our security. Our little faulty security system on our security system is saying, flashing red lights. No, I can't change my job because I'll never get another job because I never have before. Or no, I can't start writing my book because I never have before. I don't know how. It's not safe. What if I make so much money that then I have all these new responsibilities and then I have to pay more money to the IRS and da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like a spazzy little annoying, like faulty security systems flashing at you, telling you all the reasons why you cannot change. And so we quiet that and we bring that down when we use something like MindSync to bypass that barrier. So we don't have the arguing anymore. Arguing's out of the way. We're reprogramming the subconscious. Here's the new stuff. Here's what I actually want. I can change because I am a child of the Most High. I can succeed because I am royalty. I can succeed because this is how God made me. Whew. I feel so excited about this. I really hope that this changes someone's life. I hope you hear this. And I hope you decide today that you're going to change your subconscious beliefs and that you start seeing the change, girlfriend, because it is really fun to see the changes. Okay, saying negative things about your body. I've just been talking about like all these other things. Your body. The way your lymphatic system, your fat cells, your muscles, your brain, your eyes, make a little like song about it. Every part of your body. If you say something negative, it's going to influence how they work. It's going to influence how you feel pain. It's going to influence, if you keep saying you're tired, your body's going to go, yeah, I am tired. It's so hard for me to see. I need glasses. Yeah, it's going to get worse. Quit saying that. And, there's this whole movement of people who talk about toxic positivity. And they think it's toxic to say things. And I get that there is a side to it. I get that you do. I get that, okay? I get the side where a lot of people are coming from. But you do have to some extent, have to come in and convince yourself that you are blessed no matter what your circumstances look like. You are healthy, whether you can get out of bed or not. You have to convince your cells and raise their frequency. Jesus rose Lazarus from the dead. Why? And if the Bible says, if Jesus said that we will do greater things than he did, why wouldn't God want us to believe that we can have healing and change and growth and miracles and all this stuff? Take your thoughts captive. Okay. More support for this. Dr. Masaru Emoto. Water crystal experiments. Words, frequency, changes the structure of water. So I think he just put words by glasses of water and then tested the water, and the water, like, took pictures of the water. And you can see the shapes of the crystals. I don't know if it was actually just thoughts and intention or if it was actually the written word. Either way, I know both experiments have been done. He has some great books. You can just type it in and look up Emoto water crystal experiments, and they'll show up on Google. I also have it like on my page and stuff, but basically different words created different structures in water crystals. Words like hate make the water really ugly and crummy looking, and words like love make the water really beautiful. Your human body is made up of 99% molecules of water. So thoughts literally shape us. And I think that we see this physically in people. I think that the way someone looks, I think you can become more beautiful when your thoughts change. Thoughts, intention, words, it all impacts everything, and we can see it in water. And we're made of water. So speak life into your body, your finances, your healing. Your subconscious mind is taking everything literally. Did we already say that? I don't think we already said that. So when you're speaking to program your subconscious mind, it's taking everything literally. It's not understanding if you are kind of joking or being sarcastic. It's taking it word for word. How can I compare this to something? Do I have a comparison here? You can't say to your subconscious mind, stop thinking about X, Y, and Z, because it's not going to take anything into account except for the X, Y, and Z. So if you're thinking about abundance, 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 that's going to be good programming to your supercomputer. But if you're thinking about no more poverty, no more late bills, no more whatever, it's actually just going to keep focusing on the late bills or the bad stuff. Does that make sense? Start doing daily affirmations. Consider investing in yourself and getting the AO Scan subscription, where you can then do sound therapy every single day. Raise your frequency with frequency generators. Run frequencies for abundance, success, prosperity, health, pain relief, all of the things. So many things. Anything you can think of to your body every single day. Remember, we change with repetition. So you reprogram the supercomputer with repetition and frequency, changing your thoughts and changing the output, or the input. What are you inputting into your subconscious? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you talking about? Are you still gossiping? Ooh, I might be calling someone out. If you still engage in gossip, this is the very end of my in-person practice. When I was about to switch to go virtual, I was learning all this stuff about the subconscious. I started really seeing the people I was around who were gossipy. And I was grossed out. I was like, oh, this is bad. This is so bad. Because I saw it in a new light. I was like, oh my goodness. And I've been engaging with this. Like, there's something about being a people pleaser and an like unhealed empath where you kind of just go along with what people are talking about because you want them to be happy. And it's just like to keep the peace. And it's too hard or too scary to stop the conversation if it feels icky. And at some point, I kind of just like tuned out of it. Like, whatever, it's my clients coming in, it's whatever. Like, and then this kind of helped reignite and help me see like, oh my goodness, this is bad. This is not helping anyone. One, you learn about frequencies. That's actually impacting the other person that you're talking about. Two, it's impacting yourself. It's impacting yourself. All the things that you put out. I know the New Age calls it karma. A lot of people call it karma. It's just the way energy works. What you put out will come back to you. If you're really generous, more will come back to you. If you're really stingy, it's not going to come back to you. If you're really cheap, it's not going to come back to you. If you're really rude. You're flipping people off when you're driving. If you're road rage, like all of these little things that we think are just human nature and just part of our life. And it's just who I am. Like a lot of people love to talk about how it's just how they are. No, sis, it's not. It's actually faulty programming, and you have every ounce of power that you need within you to change it. And I hope you do, because then your life will get better. You know, it's like everyone says, you point the finger and you have 4 pointing back at you. It's the same thing. Whatever you put out, you're going to get back multiplied back towards you. So another powerful tool to change your subconscious mind is journaling. This doesn't have to be like a long drawn out thing. I want you to just envision like 5 minutes, even just writing down 5 things you're grateful for, and like a thought. What is my journal thought of today? Or here's a prompt for you. What do I believe about myself that's not actually true? I challenge you to start replacing the things that you have believed about yourself that are not true with what God says about you. What does God say about me? God says a lot of good things. Go read the Bible. And then visualize. Practice visualizing what you want to see happen in your life right before you go to bed, or right when you wake up in the morning. That's when you're in theta. Practicing gratitude is very powerful. It's scientifically proven to rewire neural pathways. Dr. Joe Dispenza and the Heart Math Institute confirm this. So that's your 5 tips. And these are all free. These are all things that you can do every single day. Or let's see, 4 of them are free. One of them was a paid suggestion. So we have our daily affirmations, repeat, journal prompt, journal. Try to journal a little bit. I'm not telling you to sit down for an hour. I know most of you have a busy life. And if you're a mom, it's hard. But you can do it. Just do it shorter. Visualize during those times when you're first waking up or just falling asleep, and practice regular gratitude. And then the paid thing to really amplify it all would be to do the AO Scan subscription. And as you do these things, you will see things shift. If you guys liked this deep dive episode talking about the subconscious mind, please let me know. I would love to even talk more about it. I feel like we just scratched the surface. If this episode resonated with you, come get my free energy healing ebook. The link is in the show notes. If you are ready to say yes to the AO Scan, the link, of course, is in the show notes as well. If you need more information, I have recorded webinars on my YouTube channel at Katelyn Simmons Official. I have tons of information on my Instagram. And of course, my Instagram DMs are always open, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. But it's super simple. The link that I have in the description will help you just sign up, and the best way to start everything will already be in your cart. So you can literally just click it, get signed up. When you sign up, reach out to me and let me know. This way I can get you all your resources, and we'll get you started, and you can start reprogramming today. If you are not a part of my free Inner Circle community where we talk about all this stuff and more, click the link in the show notes for joining my Inner Circle. I'd love to have you join my team. You can join my AO Scan team. I would love for you to follow my show, leave me a review, and I hope that you took something away from this episode. I want to hear your wins as you start working on your subconscious mind. So of course, let me know all your thoughts, and let me know what you start to incorporate. The subconscious mind is not your enemy. It is your silent partner waiting to follow the instructions that you give it. You have the power. So speak life, visualize joy, imagine miracles, and start partnering with the God who wired you for abundance.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Quantum Momma podcast. If today's conversation expanded your mind, nourished your soul, or lit a fire in your spirit, share it with a friend. Tag Katelyn on Instagram at Katelyn Simmons Official and at the Quantum Momma. and leave a quick review. Don't forget to check the show notes for this episode's featured products, her favorite frequency healing tools, and a free gift. Created to help you go deeper. You were made to thrive, Mama, in wholeness, wealth, and wild alignment. Until next time, keep rising, keep resonating, and keep living the Quantum Momma way.